Hey, Crystal Maiden here, and I'm going to be showing off the very last of the 06 project. After this is the fight with Iblis, well, in a way, and then there's Radical Train, which sadly, well, we'll get to that. Huh, an extra life! Like, they even put extra lives in the hub world. So that's good. I still don't think that makes them worth it. I still don't like traversing through them. But, well, at least it's sort of better than Soliana. Like, at least it's more linear. At least you're never getting lost in them. It's just that you die over and over again. And every time you do, you respawn. And yeah, there's no checkpoints or anything.
What? What's this?
Look, Shadow's standing in the front, being the leader. Sonic's in the back. I had a hell of a time recording this. Because for some reason my computer just froze over and over again every time I tried to record this. This is literally just chaos, except red. And I guess this is just too much for the computer because I never had my computer freeze over and over again and trying to record perfect chaos. But with the 06 project, I guess something about making the water red just made it too much. It's like it's weird. They don't even bother making it lava. They just make it red. There's even water tentacles that they didn't even bother coloring red. It's fought in the exact same way. You boost over the lava and everything's fine. It even creates splashing water when you boost through it. I guess we're supposed to believe that it's boiling hot Kool-Aid. I like how they at least make him say the Iblis voice clips though. Like, they put a lot of care and extra detail into this project at least. They have Sonic saying the same voice clips he did in 06. I'm not sure how they were able to. Well, I guess they played the game and recorded them and got the recorded MP3 files in 2 generations. Not that hard to get sound into the game. Graphics and stuff would be another thing entirely since, like, it's really impressive that they were able to recreate 06's levels, aesthetic, and everything, considering that 06 was never put on the PC, which sucked. Cause, like, they were going to, like, an advertisement for 06 in the back cover of the Sonic Riders Manual said it was due for release on PC, DVD, ROM, and Xbox 360. Well, the PC version of 06 was cancelled in favor of a PS3 port that barely fixed the problems and made the load times even worse. Like, a lot of people were hoping that it would be better, but no. And if 06 was released on the PC, maybe they could have actually, maybe by now the game would be modded so much that maybe it would be a lot better. Like, we have better SADX, which put the game in widescreen and had a whole bunch of mods that make it cool. Even a cheat engine. A mod cheat engine. Which is weird since I thought Steam had really harsh, unnecessary DRM against cheating, but I guess not. I mean, if it's multiplayer, sure, but if it's single player, don't, like, be a control freak over how people play their own games they bought with their own hard-earned money. If it's not inconveniencing anyone, there's, like, really? But yeah, I don't know why I had such a hard time on this boss, since I had no problem with it the first time I played. It was probably the pressure of my computer potentially crashing on me. That might have been it. Sonic and the Secret Rings would have been 06's Wii port earlier. Also, according to Sonic Cult, the supporting characters were planned to have stories of their own. Hopefully this would have eliminated the Amigo system, where you just randomly switch to other characters. And also Metal Sonic would have been playable in that game. I don't think that's really too much of a good thing though, if they went with the whole Sonic Adventure 1 system where you would play, like, would that have padded out the game? Like, would you still have, I don't know if you still would have had to play as Wave Ocean again, only with Tails, if Tails had its own story. But then again, Tails went through Wave Ocean the first time when Sonic was going through it. So maybe they would have handled it like Sonic Adventure and like had the characters' own stories, still have them go through the same levels. So yeah, having every character have their own story would have just padded out the game even more. Like some people say that if 06 had more development time, it would have been good. But from what I'm reading here, they clearly would have just padded out the game even more. And just like add in a whole bunch of unnecessary stuff. Like playing as Metal Sonic would have been cool. Day and night system would have been cool. But would it have fixed the game's problems? Would it have fixed Amy's extremely stiff and terrible double jump where she goes really high and then falls 2 feet in front of her? No. It wouldn't have fixed anything about the game. Like, it's a Sonic 2 situation all over again, where in Sonic 2 it was Christmas rushed, and they would have planned to make even more levels to pad out the game even longer if they had more development time. They wouldn't have polished the levels they already had. But yeah, Shadow stays behind because he sees Mephiles, and then he goes to confront him. And the cool thing is Mephiles actually tries to get him to join him, to, like, just like Black Doom did.
Where did
But
Shadow and Rouge
because
go?
he said that
Did
the
they
future
appear
turned against
someplace
him,
else?
blamed him for the future being
Those two
ruined.
can take care
But,
of
but the
themselves.
Shadow actually said, no, I'm going to fight you instead. It's like character development. The Daily Soriana. That's a typo. They don't even have, like, well, never mind. I don't know why I briefly thought that Soliana had 2 L's. But yeah, like, those two can take care of themselves. That was pretty dickish of you, Sonic. I don't know why all the characters don't always spawn from the exact same portals. Like, why did they get separated from Rouge? That's so stupid. It makes no sense. This is my favorite part of the Soliana hub world, mostly because it's the least dangerous to boost around in. Sadly, every time you die in the hub world at all, no matter where you are in it, you'll always respawn at a certain part of the Soliana that isn't New City. So, like, it's so hard for me to even get here to begin with. So, even when I can't really memorize my way around this place. Everywhere in Soliana looks the same. And like, you can still boost into the water in this area. It's just that there's a lot more walls to stop you, which is good. This isn't very well designed at all. Because like, if you're holding left even a little bit, then you'll miss the ramp or you'll miss the tiny spring that you're expected to boost towards. Like, this is too precise. That's the big problem with this level. That and the fact that the time limit has been drastically made a lot more dickish because they're accounting for the fact that you have the boost now. Like, a lot of the problems with the 06 project are that the level design is clearly not designed around the boost, so you'll boost into pits and stuff. And you'll boost into walls. Although it's fine in the what would normally be scripted automated sequences. But with this level, they, for once, did design it around assuming you would boost. Even though normally the 06 projects go to, like, deflection for criticism is, then don't boost. You have problems with the game? Then don't boost. That's clearly your fault for taking advantage of generations. But with this, they made the time limit a lot more strict, and that makes it incredibly dickish trying to hit the switches very precisely on the floor in order to prevent the bombs from exploding on the train. And here you have to very precisely boost into the ramps. You'll feel very tempted to boost along the train tracks here, but there's no railings, no walls to keep you from boosting off the side to your death. I got a game over here and had to do the whole level all over again. It doesn't help that the crates are in the way, blocking your view of where the ramps that you have to aim for are. There's dash pads, and like you should make sure that you hit the dash pads because they send you towards other dash pads that turn you in the right direction. But you're not always going to be guaranteed to hit them. They're so small. Why do you have to destroy these enemies? Why can't you just run into the switch right away? That's stupid. I was able to beat this In fact, I beat the entire level when I beat this on my own, when I replayed this today. But I wasn't able to beat this here because I used the overpowered Sonic mod in frustration. Because when you die, normally you start without boost, and it's so much harder to beat the time limit for the train when you don't have any boost because you restart with no time. So I was able to beat this, and like it's actually pretty fun, the Mach Speed section. Like the reason I was having such trouble with it was because I had the overpowered Sonic mod, and I was boosting all the way up the wall. Not to mention there's really awkwardly placed boulders that will stop you when you're trying to go fast. So yeah, and like it really sucks that I beat the level, and I tried to record what happened after it, but then my computer froze. But yeah. It's just not, it's too precise. It is too precise. Like, you have to, like, if you're holding left at the very start of the level when you're boosting, if you're not holding up on the control pad, but instead holding up on the stick analog stick, then you'll end up boosting and missing the ramp that you're being scripted to head towards. And it's still such a hard time getting up to that wall running section. Although, I like to skip it anyways just so I can get that extra life. Like, I actually grinded all the way up to, like 50 lives. Like, I just played this level over and over again. Even though it's not as good as Flame Core in the 06 project. Like, that's the thing. Flame Core and Wave Ocean are the only good levels in the 06 project. Because the rest don't really translate well to the boost gameplay. And the horribly gimped jumping ability of modern Sonic. Like, you can't jump as far, you can't air dash as far, you can't, like, the levels aren't really designed for him, and even then, some levels, I hate the forced combat that constantly breaks the pace. And like, it was, at least in Heroes you had a Team Blast move, so you could get rid of all the enemies, even if you had to do a boring, unskippable cutscene every time you used it. But you could also, like, use the power-type character. So, like, even with Generations gameplay, the 06 levels aren't really anything special. Like, the only Flame Core and Wave Ocean are the only good ones. And even then, Flame Core is only good because they removed the falling rocks. They didn't get to program Tropical Jungle yet. I'm sure that'll be good, but they're probably just going to go, nope. I'm not gonna bother doing it because, oh, I got distracted by a butterfly. I'm not gonna bother fixing, I'm not gonna bother finishing the Generations level mod because this game's old. No, I'm just going to forget about Generations and modding for it just because it's a few years old. And even though there's no other Sonic game like it out to move on to yet. Like, really, Force isn't even out yet. Like, I'm just so worried that people aren't even going to bother finishing the 06 project. Like, they're just going to slack off. Which sucks, because we could have gotten at least Tropical Jungle. Like, there's no hope for Aquatic Base whatsoever. It's just some boring... It's basically a Sonic Adventure 2 mech level. Like, forced combat, linear corridors. That's really it. Not really sure how you'd be able to travel through the areas of it where you would normally fly around with tails and hit switches, these dummy ring bombs, and like glide with Knuckles. In Kingdom Valley, like, sure it would take it takes 20 minutes in your first playthrough and that really sucks, but I'm sure it could have been good in Generations. But no, they're probably not going to bother finishing this project because Generations is too old. That really sucks. But yeah, that's Generations. And next up is Sonic Heroes.